What is going on, everybody? It's the Thoughts. I'm here for a Raw review for November 4th, 2019. This show was fucking garbage. Smackdown. We come out of Smackdown praising it, saying this is the best Smackdown of the year. They had momentum with the NXT invasion angle. What was Raw going to do to continue this? Well, we're going to try and do the exact same thing we did for the main event on SmackDown and do it on Raw and give us a poor attempt to mimic what we did on SmackDown for that. The only great things about this show is the fact that Shayna Bazlier went face to face with Becky Lynch, and Rey Mysterio, looking strong as ever, took it to Brock Lesnar with a lead pipe. Not a bat, a lead pipe. People need to get their eyes checked. It was a fucking lead pipe. Everything else was, let's have a little bit of NXT here, let's have a little bit of NXT there, and the rest of the show was Vince McMahon, Paul Heyman 101. Vince McMahon, SmackDown was a Vince McMahon run show. I call bullshit. Yes, Vince McMahon approves everything that goes on the air, but Triple H ran that show. Tonight was quite clearly obvious that Vince McMahon did not run SmackDown like he does Monday Night Raw. SmackDown gave you the fucking blueprint on how to make this storyline work. And what did Monday Night Raw do? They took a nice, big, long shit all over what they did on SmackDown. So basically, you took what we wanted to see and just shit all over it, and now it doesn't matter as much. Are you fucking kidding me? Let's get through this. This show doesn't deserve to be going long-winded into it. Plain and simple, this show fucking sucked. Show opened up with Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar. They're pissed because they quit SmackDown, which was supposed to be the announcement they were going to make. The big announcement they were going to have on Backstage tomorrow was going to be Brock Lesnar's quitting SmackDown and going to Monday Night Raw. So the titles are switching brands, of course, which they officially did over the weekend. But that was not planned for Friday. That was planned for for tomorrow night. And he did mention the trade between Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross to SmackDown for, he didn't say one, but 2 future draft considerations. So basically, Brock Lesnar has a no-cut contract because he has a Jew as his advocate. He says Lesnar can't be fired, and says now Lesnar's contract is signed to Raw. This doesn't mean Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns can do the same. This means Lesnar is special and has leverage. Lesnar can go and do what he wants, while guys like Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, which I can fully believe that they wanted to somewhere down the line be like, you know what, I'm going back to Raw, screw SmackDown. I can see them doing that. But it does make sort of sense because Brock Lesnar does whatever the hell he wants. So if he doesn't want to be on SmackDown and he wants to be back on Monday Night Raw, he's going to say, fuck SmackDown, I'm going back to Raw where I know I can dominate. Lesnar is special and has leverage. Lesnar is entitled to do whatever the hell he wants to do. Heyman says people are wondering if that means Lesnar is better than them, and he says yes it does. Each and every one of you. Heyman goes on about praising Lesnar and says get some local heat. He says someone here knows where Rey Mysterio is, and if we want Lesnar to hop the rail and slap every man in the crowd, Heyman mocks the people of Long Island. I was so hoping, because NXT superstars were in the building tonight, I was so hoping with this whole Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT thing, we were going to have what everybody's been wanting to see and clamoring for, Matt Riddle to pop up, and his music hits, he comes out, and face-to-face with Brock Lesnar, they have a brawl and going there. But, of course, they weren't going to do that, because then they would have to build towards Heyman and Lesnar versus Riddle, and WWE doesn't want to do that now or ever. Basically because Heyman came out was saying, there's not a man in Long Island or back in that locker room who's going to stop Brock Lesnar from doing what he wants to do. And I was just thinking, Matt Riddle show up. Please, Matt Riddle show up. Please, Matt Riddle show up. Never happened. So basically, seeing Rick and Roll, they go to the back. We see him manhandling a crew member who he pretty much murdered on the scene. Not really, but you know what I mean. We go to a break, we come back, and we see what happened during the break. We see him going to a rental car, a limo, pulling a guy out. He wasn't Rey Mysterio. So we'll see him in a few minutes. And then we go to our first match of the night. Asuka and Kairi Sane, the tag team champions for the win, versus Natalya and Charlotte Flair. Why is this match happening? Better yet, why is Charlotte Flair and Natalya, two women who just got thrown together last week, facing the tag team champions in a non-title match? This is quite clearly leading to Charlotte Flair and Natalya becoming your next tag team champions, because Bayley was the first ever Grand Slam champion. We can't keep that from Charlotte for any longer. So I fully expect, since there's no three sets of women's tag team titles, thank God, at Survivor Series it will be Natalya and Charlotte Flair versus Kairi Sane and Asuka, with Natalya and Charlotte Flair beating Kairi Sane and Asuka, sending them back to catering, sending Asuka back to Connor Chan TV and Kairi Sane off the face of the earth, and then being your tag team champions. So yes, the Kairi Sane and Asuka lost this match, which, by the way, way to show that these titles absolutely mean nothing, because we went to commercial break after the Brock Lesnar stuff. We come back, see the stuff that happened after during the break, and we go back into the ring, and Asuka and Kairi Sane are already in the ring. Why the fuck are you disrespecting your tag team champions? Oh, that's right, because Natalya and Charlotte are going to beat them tonight, which they did. Basically tells you that it's going to be Charlotte and Natalya challenging them next. Why? Because they beat the Iconics last week. That's why. That's bullshit. They haven't done anything to deserve a title match. And they didn't even deserve to face the tag team champions, in my opinion. Which also, by the way, Charlotte Flair. If anyone remembers, I don't remember what the actual program was. I believe it was on the network. Charlotte Flair was talking about being... Maybe it was on the... it was on Photo Shoot. If you go back and watch WWE Photo Shoot, I believe it was, she talked about her time in NXT and being told that she couldn't, she wanted to do a moonsault in NXT and they wouldn't allow her. I think there's a reason why they didn't allow you to do a moonsault, Charlotte, because you were absolutely atrocious at it. They wouldn't let you do it, and there's a good reason why they wouldn't let you do it. So how about you take that hint, go back and wonder, why didn't they let me do a moonsault? It's because I fucking suck at it. Then we see Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman marching back out as Natalya and Charlotte Flair. Another thing, you have Charlotte Flair and Natalya beat the tag team champions, and they don't even get a chance to celebrate in the ring, because we're back on stage with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar bullying Jerry the King Lawler, and told him, if you don't tell me where Rey Mysterio is, I'm going to let Brock Lesnar beat the shit out of you, and nobody's going to resuscitate you when you die on TV this time. He's like, where's Rey Mysterio? He starts pushing Brock Lesnar starts pushing Jerry the King Lawler. Dio Madden gets up, gets in between them, and just starts talking shit to him. Brock Lesnar knees him a couple times and then puts him in the F5 through the announce table. Dio is gone for the rest of the night. So we had Vic Joseph and Jerry the King Lawler on commentary by themselves the rest of the night. So usually when we have this happen, you usually have somebody come out and fill the spot. Nope. I'm really hoping this doesn't mean Dio Madden's being taken off of Monday Night Raw, and it's going to be the team of Vic Joseph and Jerry the King Lawler, which would be absolutely ludicrous. Jerry the King Lawler needs to be off commentary. The guy's jokes suck. The guy is old. The guy is past due. Jerry the King Lawler, post-Attitude Era, Jerry the King Lawler was only great when he had JR to bounce off of. Him with Vic Joseph or Dio Madden or anybody else, it has not been the same. And quite honestly, it needs to go away. But after he F5s Dio through the announce table, Rey Mysterio comes out and has a lead pipe. People are saying this looked like a children's bat. Look at the fucking weapon in his hand. Yes, I know it's Rey Mysterio. If it would have been Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, or somebody bigger, it would have made more sense. It was a fucking lead pipe. Do you guys don't remember? Are you guys that fucking stupid? It's just one of those go-to weapons when you want to attack somebody from behind. I know we haven't seen the lead pipe in WWE in about a decade, but it was a lead pipe. Hits him a couple times in the knee, hits him in the back, then grabs the WWE Championship and smacks him in the face. Heads off as security comes out. We go to commercial break. We come back, and he says Brock Lesnar tried to take everything from him, and he went after his son. He says Lesnar tried to take what's most important to him, and now he will take what's most important to Lesnar. and ask Lesnar if he's going to be man enough to come after him at Survivor Series like he did tonight. And he drops the lead pipe and walks off. It was confirmed later at Survivor Series. For the first time since 2016, we will have a WWE championship match on the show, as Brock Lesnar will be taking on Rey Mysterio. Now, some people are going to be like, oh, this is awesome. Some people are going to be like, why aren't we getting The Fiend versus Cole versus Brock Lesnar? Which, quite honestly, in my opinion, I don't want to see. Because, quite honestly, it's going to be The Fiend or Brock Lesnar winning by pinning Adam Cole. Honestly, I don't want to see, because we do have Bayley versus Shayna Baszler versus Becky Lynch in the War Raiders Revival and Undisputed Era in triple threat matches for brand supremacy at Survivor Series. I don't want to see The Fiend versus Adam Cole. Quite honestly, I would love to see, because Adam Cole is going to be on War Games the night before. So is the Undisputed Era. I would rather see this 5-on-5 match and Adam Cole be the one to lead the charge against Raw and SmackDown on the NXT team. I don't know if it's going to be NXT versus Raw and SmackDown, or I don't know how they're going to do it. Because quite honestly, I don't want to see Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT in a Survivor Series elimination match. Just make it 6-on-6, because you're going to have 3 from Raw, 3 from SmackDown, 6 from NXT. Leave The Fiend off lurking. He could be the one to attack one of these SmackDown guys who he's going to be targeting after Survivor Series. But don't give me The Fiend versus Adam Cole. I don't want to see that. It's not necessary. Because I don't want to see Adam Cole taking a pinfall loss or a loss to the Mandible Claw by The Fiend. Leave it for another time. Speaking of jobber entrances for superstars, Cedric Alexander and Buddy Murphy were in the ring, and neither one of them got entrances. So you ain't gonna give me the time to know who's in this match before, and you're not gonna let me experience some entrances. Then I don't give a shit about this match, because you tell me this match isn't important. Buddy Murphy wins with the Murphy's Law. Big Joe shows how Triple H arrived early. He did arrive earlier tonight at the beginning of the show with at least another vehicle or two behind him. Out comes Seth Rollins. He takes the mic and fans are booing him because he is an awful babyface. He asks what's next for him. He says it's been a rough week, and to be honest, a rough couple of months. Rollins isn't stupid. He can hear the fans. He knows some of you fans are excited about him losing the title to the Universal title to The Fiend, but he doesn't give a damn. What concerns him is Wyatt taking the title to SmackDown. What concerns him is WWE Champion Brock Lesnar being back on Raw. What concerns him is how his work to give guys opportunities is all a wash. It's all gone now. Rollins doesn't know if he has the energy for this whole reclaim and rebuild thing this time. What's next for Seth Rollins? For the first time in a long time, I don't know. Out comes Triple H, who has the same music, but his entrance Tron has the NXT logo. I believe it said the founder of NXT on his title card. I don't know. I can't remember. But he did, and he came out with his title card in the NXT plate, which is awesome. They shake hands. Fans chant NXT as Triple H asks Rollins if he doesn't know what's next. Triple H says it's funny how history repeats itself, and when Seth doesn't know what is next, their paths crossed. He said it's been like that a lot in the past. Maybe Rollins' past is his future, as a wise man just said a couple weeks ago. Rollins has come to him several times in the past, and that has led him to putting NXT on the map while being the foundation of it, leading to the Shield, leading to the WWE title, and more. It's that way over and over again. Rollins interrupts and asks him, Triple H, did Triple H do this for him, or was it for Triple H's benefit? Triple H asks if it matters because Rollins walked away as champion most of the time. He said, fair point. Triple H asks Rollins, doesn't know what's next, but he does. He brings the invading SmackDown on Friday, and he admits they fired the first shot when half of the roster was stuck overseas, and says it was smart. He says NXT made a statement, and that was real, and it's here that NXT at this moment is on fire. The whole world wants to know what is NXT going to do next, especially here on Raw. Says he didn't come alone, but he's here for a different reason. He wants to know what Seth is going to do next because what he does next will affect what Triple H does next. The Survivor Series is Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT for the first time ever. And they've got something to prove. Maybe he doesn't know what is next for him. But he has what it takes, what Triple H does. He knows how to get Rollins there and always has. Triple H knows to make Rollins great. He's going on and says Rollins is either with him in this moment, and then Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Adam Cole, and Roderick Strong walk from the crowd onto the apron. Triple H says Rollins is either with him or against him. They stare down from the apron. Out comes the OC, Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, and the United States Champion, AJ Styles. They march to the ring, and the Undisputed Era retreat to the crowd, but Dominic Dijakovic and Damian Priest attack the OC at ringside and beat them down as the Undisputed Era join them. Raw Superstars run down from the back, and the NXT Superstars are gone from the way. Eric Rowan, Zack Ryder, Kurt Hawkins, and R-Truth all came out. So the Job Squad came out. Rollins looks on alone in the ring. The OC recover on the floor as the other Raw Superstars stand around them. Rollins exits the ring as his music hits, marching up the ramp to the back alone as we go to commercial break. Back from break, we see what happened, and then we go backstage, and Seth Rollins runs into Triple H and says, if Triple H wanted him fired up, that's what he just got. Rollins says if Triple H wants him on NXT, he's not coming down there to be anything but the top guy. Says Daniel Bryan couldn't get the job done on Friday, but he wants the NXT champion Adam Cole tonight in the main event for the title. Triple H says welcome back to Rollins and says the challenge is accepted, and Rollins storms off. Triple H smirks, and that was that. So that was your NXT. That was the bulk of what you saw for NXT tonight. The OC won a six-man tag match tonight. Did we see the NXT invasion then? No. Zelina Vega and Andrade took on Sin Cara and Catalina next. Did the NXT invade there? No. Did we have another talking segment in the ring when the NXT invaded and we had a match between somebody talking and that person from NXT? No. But we only had two more things happen with NXT. Becky Lynch was in a sit-down interview, and Shayna Baszler came in to this sit-down interview, and they had a face-to-face, which was fucking fantastic. And then the PS6 brawl at the end of the show, and that was it. So NXT on SmackDown, after Bayley defended the title, was all over SmackDown. It was a thing of goddamn beauty. It was the best SmackDown of the year. I said it was the best SmackDown ever. I could be wrong, but that's just me. But here we are, Monday Night Raw, and NXT, all the momentum they had for NXT went out the window. They treated this as if it was not as important as it was on SmackDown. Speaking of Andrade and Zelina Vega versus Sin Cara and Catalina, they say Carolina on her title card, even though it's Catalina Rodriguez, I believe is her name. She just signed to NXT. She just signed to NXT a couple weeks ago. And she's already on Monday Night Raw. And it shows that she needs to be down in NXT in the Performance Center. I don't know why the fuck they brought her into Monday Night Raw. Just because Sin Cara is feuding with Zelina Vega and Andrade doesn't mean you need to bring up another masked wrestler, a female masked wrestler, to team with him. You could have picked anybody with some talent who actually has some seasoning on them. Not Catalina Rodriguez or whatever the fuck her name is. This match was fucking awful. Catalina shows that she needs to be in NXT or down in the Performance Center, cutting her teeth and building and working to become a better superstar. Because quite honestly, this match sucked. Basement Hurricane Rana by Zelina Vega, 1, 2, 3. This match was just, if you went to the bathroom and then you came back and that was the end and that's all you saw, you didn't miss anything. This was atrocious. Back from break and Rusev, I'm not going over this. Basically, Rusev comes out. The crowd was chanting Rusev Day. He wanted Bobby Lashley. He said, you can have Lana, but your ass belongs to me. They came out and Lashley's on crutches. Is Vince Russo, I'm being serious, is Vince Russo writing this shit? Is this entire storyline a Russo production? Because my God, this feels like a Russo thing all over it. Lashley comes out with the crutches. Oh, and Lana's a fucking hypocrite. Lana's a fucking hypocrite. She comes to Raw last week, says, Rusev was a sex addict. I couldn't deal with it anymore. He wanted sex everywhere. But then you come to Monday Night Raw and you have Bobby Lashley brag that I was fucking her so much that I fucking tore my groin. What the fuck? That's so... This has got to stop. This segment is not drawing ratings. I even tweeted that out, and when they said, we can't comment on this, but can you? And I said, this angle needs to end. This is not a ratings draw. That was proven last week when you put it in the main event, and this was the third lowest Monday Night Raw non-holiday of all time in the modern era. And someone replied to me, is like, you should check, because I said, nobody cares about this. And then someone put in a fucking reply, you should check the YouTube numbers before you reply. Who gives a fuck about the YouTube numbers? Hey, listen. I put YouTube videos all the time. Somebody can watch that 20 times. Guess what? That's 20 views. 20 people can watch that and watch that 100 times. That's 2,000 views. Sitting there and saying that, this is getting a shit ton of YouTube views, so it correlates to ratings. Bullshit. This needs to get off of fucking television. The crowd was actually hot, was like chanting Rusev Day. They were loud. They were like at least doing something. They were like engaged. And then you had you had Lana and Lashley come out, and the crowd died. You had Drew McIntyre versus Rusev in it was even a match. It was a hard-hitting match. These two beat the fuck out of each other. But in the end, it was a swerve. It was Russo's... This is why Russo has to be writing the storyline for WWE. He just has to be. This had Russo's fingerprints all over it. Lashley comes out with the crutches. He's not in. He's supposedly tore his groin. He comes down and beats Bobby Lashley up with the crutch. So Lashley is beating the hell out of Rusev. Rusev and them start brawling in the ring. All of a sudden, I don't know what the fuck, Randy Orton with an RKO out of nowhere. And then Ricochet comes out and makes the save. And really, this didn't lead to a tag team match this week, but I guarantee you when we come to Raw on Monday, tag team match, Rusev and Ricochet versus Randy Orton and Bobby Lashley. Why? What does Ricochet have to do with this? What does Randy Orton have to do with this storyline? Just adding people into the storyline that have no business in it doesn't help this storyline at all. This shit needs to go. This storyline in here is why people like me and other fans are embarrassed. If I'm watching this show and a couple of people and friends of mine knock on my door, I'm changing the fucking channel because I don't want them to see this shit. They would probably think that I'm watching some kind of porn video on my TV when people are coming over. This has got to fucking stop. It doesn't draw ratings. You're driving people fucking away week by week. I don't give a shit about the YouTube numbers. Nobody should give a fuck about the YouTube numbers. Oh, it's got about 1 million views. So fucking what? 5 fucking people could be watching that over and over and over and over again because they get a kick out of it. And guess what? Every single time they watch that is a new fucking view. You retards. Come the fuck on. End it. It's an embarrassment. Rusev is sitting down with WWE for a new deal. If he so happens to sign a new contract, I lose all respect for this guy. And he is going to just be another shill, just towing the company line, making that fucking money. And that's all he fucking cares about. The OC, that's all they fucking care about. They don't care if they're being suppressed. They don't care if they're getting used to their full potential. Same thing with Rusev. He doesn't care if he's being suppressed. One of the most over guys. There was a time where people would go to Ring of Honor shows and you would hear Rusev Day chants. And the guy doesn't fucking care. If he signs a new contract, I lose all respect for this guy. Let's see here. Charlie Cruz is backstage with Raw Women's Champion. This was the best part of the show, plain and simple. And the first portion of this was Charlie Caruso talking to Becky Lynch, and she reveals Lynch will take on Women's Champion of NXT, Shayna Bazlier, and Smackdown Women's Champion Bayley in a triple threat match at Survivor Series. Lynch talks about how she usually loves Survivor Series, but this year she is the target. She talks about why Bayley and Bazlier want to come after her, mentioning how she took out Ronda Rousey. all of a sudden we hear Shayna Baszler's voice. She's like, you know what? I'm going to take your seat, Caruso. And Charlie's gone, and she sits down. And this, if you want to see how to build this right, watch this promo. This was fantastic. She's been waiting a long time to meet Becky. She says, I'm friends with Ronda Rousey, and you beat her. We trained together. We fought together. You beat her at WrestleMania. But I want to make something to you very clear, Becky. I am not Ronda Rousey. No, because you're better than Ronda Rousey. Fight me on it. And the Survivor Series, she won't take her eyes off Bayley, but she has wanted to come here to Raw face to face to tell Becky she's going to make her tap or pin her at Survivor Series. Baszler said all Becky can think about between tonight and Survivor Series is which Lynn belongs to me. Becky says she doesn't know who Bazlier is. Becky is glad that they got this chance to have this talk so she can feel what Rousey felt. Bazlier goes on with more harsh words and says she also won't take her eyes off. Becky does, and she won't take her eyes off Bayley at Survivor Series, but she's coming for Bazlier. They stand up and face to face, and Bazlier says she's really glad they got to have this talk. They have a few more words, and Becky tells Bazlier to bring her best at Survivor Series because she's going to knock her head off. And the match was confirmed: Bayley versus Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler. That is fantastic. That is going to be a great fucking match, in my opinion, if you let these three women go out there and do what they can do. OC versus the Street Profits and Humberto Carrillo. Before the match started, the Street Profits come out because AJ Styles was pissed. He got his ass kicked by the Undisputed Era earlier and the NXT Invaders, and he's not having time for this. He's just pissed as fuck. And then out comes the Street Profits. People are coming out and saying when Seth Rollins faced Humberto Carrillo that yes, Humberto Carrillo did not have to beat Seth Rollins, who was Universal Champion at the time, to be put over as a competitor. Two problems with that. One, Seth Rollins is not over himself. Seth Rollins is one of the most violent, one of the most hated people in the community. And two, Humberto Carrillo still doesn't feel special even 2 weeks later. He faced AJ Styles last week on Monday Night Raw. He faced AJ Styles last week at Crown Jewel after winning a Battle Royal. What happened in both of those matches? He got pinned clean. Before this match happened, and you had the Street Profits and Humberto Carrillo out there, Montez Ford is just like kept saying over and over, we beat the Street Profits, we beat the OC 2 weeks ago, and Montez Ford is like, no, you can't say that. You can't say that. He's like, but Humberto Carrillo should say that. So Humberto Carrillo says it 2 or 3 times, and he's like, hey, say it in Spanish. He does in Spanish, and it's like, oh God, what the fuck? Yet this guy's supposed to be over. Yet the Street Profits, who in their first match 2 weeks ago were like the most over tag team in all of WWE, you're slowly killing them again. Let's see. And then Dawkins decided, oh AJ, I know why you don't like Humberto Carrillo. Because them soccer moms like to swipe left on whatever the fucking swipe right on them dimples, and I'm like, why? Why are you doing this to me? And then we had the match. Humberto Carrillo loses again after he gets hit with the powerbomb. AJ pins him, feet on the rope, 1, 2, 3, and the OC win. So Humberto Carrillo, 3 matches in a row, gets beat, yet this guy's supposed to be over. Not 3 weeks, I'm sorry. 4 matches in a row. Seth Rollins, AJ, OC. Yet this guy's supposed to be an overstar. Yet this guy's supposed to be one in the future. The OC, the Street Profits and Humberto Carrillo are supposed to be your future. Yet you're putting him in matches like this, giving him bullshit garbage lines, and just making a fool out of him. Humberto Carrillo is so over. I know you don't have to win every fucking match to be over if you go out there and give the effort, but Humberto Carrillo just looks like another person on the roster. We go to Vic Joseph and Jerry Lawler, who stand at the announce table and their third broadcast colleague. They lead us to a video package of NXT champion Adam Cole. Backstage, Triple H is talking to Adam Cole. And then we go to Brock Lesnar, as done earlier tonight. And then we have the Viking Raiders versus the East Hampton Polo Boys. Fuck this. Raiders win again. They congratulate the OC on being crowned the greatest tag team in the world and admit that they suffered defeat at Crown Jewel. They go on and say Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson made one battle, but nothing stops the raid. And they pose together, yada yada yada. What's it going to lead to? I don't know. I don't care. You've killed the Viking Raiders, and none of us should care. NXT title match, Seth Rollins versus Adam Cole. This match was just, it was there. You had a fantastic main event, NXT level main event on SmackDown. This one felt, hey, it worked on SmackDown, let's do it again, but let's put Seth Rollins in the Daniel Bryan role. Guess what? Seth Rollins is no Daniel Bryan. Seth Rollins couldn't even lace Daniel Bryan's boots. Yes, I know they were making a partner together at the same time, Tyler Black, Bryan Danielson, but Daniel Bryan is much better than Seth Rollins. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So they have their match, they're going back and forth, and all of a sudden, it looks like we're going to have the stomp, but Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Roderick Strong all show up and start beating the piss out of Seth Rollins. Rollins turns around to a flying knee from North American champion Roderick Strong. They unload. Several members of the Raw roster run down to even the odds, but more NXT stars run down, including Dominik Dijakovic, Keith Lee, Tommaso Ciampa, Matt Riddle, Damian Priest, and a few others. I saw Pete Dunne in there as well. The OC, Kurt Hawkins, Ricochet, Zack Ryder, Eric Rowan, and maybe a few others out there. Raw vs. NXT Brawl continues at ringside. Ricochet flies over from the ring, takes a bunch of superstars out. Fans chant, holy shit. Then Keith Lee in the ring does a tope con hilo to everybody on the outside. Raw goes off the air, and the NXT Brawl against Raw continues on. So, basically, you took the blueprint that SmackDown gave you to make this fucking fantastic and just ripped it up and said, well, the main event was awesome on SmackDown. Let's do it again, but take an inferior competitor in Seth Rollins, who is no Daniel Bryan and never will be Daniel Bryan, and let's put him in there with Adam Cole. Yes, Seth Rollins is good at what he does, but he is no Daniel Bryan. Let's do what we couldn't do on SmackDown because if the full crowd group was there and we were going to do this invasion angle anyway, that would have happened on SmackDown, but that didn't. So, instead of doing the right thing and having NXT end the night like they did on SmackDown with them just standing tall, with Raw and SmackDown invading on Wednesday, what do? We have a Pier 6 brawl, Keith Lee do a jump over, a tope con hilo, laying everybody out, and then we go to fucking black. This fucking show is a piece of shit. This show is garbage. This show didn't even give a fucking two shits about what they... Like, Raw was definitely run heavily by Vince McMahon. I guarantee you, Triple H had almost zero input on this show. Triple H was clearly running SmackDown. Yes, they say it was a Vince McMahon show because Vince McMahon approves everything. But that show was Triple H more than this show. Put Triple H in charge a majority of the show. Vince McMahon could be involved with the Brock Lesnar shit because that's not going to be something Triple H wants to run. But this is what you give me for Monday Night Raw when you gave us an almost perfect episode of SmackDown on Friday. This show is fucking pathetic. I'm out of here. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Follow me on Twitter at The France Club. Follow me on twitch.tv/The France Club. Go over to The France Plays as I finish up the Curse of Osiris playthrough as of today. Warmind starts tomorrow. We'll be going for the next 5 days. And then a couple more strikes on Destiny 2, and then I'll figure out what after that. But until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys Wednesday for AEW, Thursday for NXT, which should be a very interesting show, and SmackDown on Friday. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.